So it says I'm on. Hi everyone, hi everybody. Thank you. I'm sorry, Stefan. Okay, Stefan for the questions. So it is definitely I have forgotten to make an introduction of myself. Your last questions uh, about that. So what we will do today is I will do some short introduction of myself, and we'll try to sculpt this wreath probably, yeah, wreath. So if we have a look at it is already somehow should be seamless. Yeah, it is. Okay, but actually I'm not sure I will follow this draft accurate. Okay. Okay, that's because of the color. Too much. So yeah, that's because of the stream mostly about what I'm doing, what I'm working. So and that also I will answer the questions. So first of all introduction. So the last part of your questions. I am a restorer with around 25 years experience behind. I started to work as a simple apprentice in the early 90s. I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia originally, and I'm still here. I'm working here, although one of my company incorporated in UK, but I'm still here. I sent link to the main company I'm working for, link to the Instagram, so you may see here what our company is about. We're trying to make the plaster decoration as Javelin. It is not like we do not sell meters. We sell the design, the quality, the sculpting. So we try to make it as Javelin. And because of that, most of our pictures here are about that. So we're showing the details, showing the shadow, how it's interact with the geometry, how it's play with the geometry. And if speaking about my own portfolio, so this is my work. This is my work. It is 3D graphic. It is not handmade sculpting. So here again, here this one is obviously 3D graphics. Those three is my early 3D graphic works. Before that, before even ZBrush 1, 2, 3. This one is a mix of handmade sculpting made by our sculptor Sergei Zhilnin and the 3D graphics. So the geometrical part made on CNC machine, and the leaves are sculpted by hand. This is available now on Cherish. This is my old 12 years old sculpting. I did it for the fireplace, for a fireplace made of marble. The boys aren't mine. The boys was made by the Andrei Belov. Yeah, I don't know in English how will Andrei Belov. Okay, and further on, this one historical one, again 3D graphics. 3D graphics made on CNC, 3D graphics made on CNC machine, handmade, you see here. This one, the rosette made on CNC machine, you see it is my CNC machine. It's it is as beautiful as it is on this picture. And further on, further on, further on, further on. That's all. On those columns, this decorative part also CNC. Probably not, or maybe yes. I'm sorry. Because we did this ornament in a few scales. Maybe. Do not remember. I'm sorry. So what I'm trying, by the way, that's what I want to do today. Not as beautiful as this one, but something for just to show to architect what will be some kind of placement. So answering, so this is the question. I'm not active on Facebook as artist, more like a couch surfer, if you know what it is. So could not show to you, but I'm active on the LinkedIn, and here if you have a look at my activity, see all posts, so you could find some of my works if it is interesting for you. Yeah, cherish, and yeah, the designs I do. I'm also author of a few other projects, like this one, the Decorate. Okay, visit website. Oh, sorry, I'm in admin mode. Decorate, it is about ceiling designs, how it's made, so it is. By the way, exactly today on Pinterest, I found the guy showed in the comment. He made here showed the picture he designed based on my design. So it is my design from the Decorate website, and here we see the picture, the guy, what the guy have done, and it is exactly opposite to what his design was. So I could show what do I mean. So just, you know, if you have a look at the structure of this ceiling design, mine ceiling design, the coffered ceiling here, the coffered ceilings there is like this, and in the coffer some carved more deeper planes, and therefore it is and the moldings, not the frames hanging on the wall, okay, on the ceiling, sorry, but it is the decoration of the planes. So if there are some plane changes, the moldings just the interaction between those planes, and it is important, because of, if you have a look at, for example, this element here in the original design, if you have a look, decorate.biz, if you have a look at decorate.biz, this design is here. So yeah, if you have a look, it is carved, it is there, it is, and therefore we are reading some kind of bulk heads combining to hold the ceiling, okay. This is important. So we are reading in my design, in this not my design, it is just a classical rule. So when we have this bulk head, even if they will not have at all any frames, we will read it as the bulk heads holding the ceiling, okay, holding this part of the ceiling, okay, not the whole ceiling, this part of the ceiling, and the molding is just decoration of this, okay. It's upside down because of you know, I don't know why. I just used to design it like this way, and because of this. So you see here again. So we do not see the actual thickness of the recessed ceiling behind this, but we see the bulkheads, the interaction or the cross section of those bulks beams holding those part of the ceiling, and it is very important. Also, he messed up, but that's, you know, I'm just talking to you about this. I will explain why. I'm not answering the question. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no, it is important. It is important. Wait a moment, please. Да, Паш. Только быстро, я сейчас занят просто. Да. 6, по-моему. Точно не помню, да. Да, но ты его узнаешь. Да, давай, хорошо. Okay. I'm sorry, it's work. So, why I'm talking about this? Because I will, because of, yeah, the questions, because of the questions I've got. So the question, all the questions I've got were about the how to sculpt. I could be worse a sculptor than you. I could be better sculptor than you. Doesn't matter, because what I'm talking about is about the classical design, the anatomy of classical design. You could check yourself. So, for example, if okay, not I'm speaking not Stefan, but speaking task to CG. Usually, you could draw an character, okay, and you will draw characters sitting, staying, changing pose, with different expression, etc. Because of you know the anatomy, you know how to play with this, you know how to change the mood of your character, and you know all that things. But if you do not know the anatomy of classic, you could not adjust your design to your purposes, to your circumstances. For example, the last time what we did was this ceiling design, and if we have a look, I have redesigned this. So if we have a look here, so I'm switching. This is what we have done last time. This is what I have changed, and why I have this done is because of, yeah, this is closer look. Okay, you see this later redesigned version is more floating, is because of this axis in the middle. Do you see it in mouse? Okay, I can add it here. So because of the axis here in the middle, it is more kind of floating and less has less gravity in it. And it is important because of if we had a with the central gravity part in the design, so then everybody is trying to get to this gravity point is a great idea. But as soon as we do not have it, maybe just floating will be better. And as we could see here, oh my, wait, yeah, okay, and it is definitely so. If we have a look at these changes, so this one, 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 this one more settled down. So if you know the anatomy of acanthus, you could change it, you could adjust it, you could make changes which are so anyway your design became more fine-tuned. Okay, and the last off topic I want to do or to say to you is okay, this is the collection of images from internet I'm constantly collecting. Have you seen, do you know Unreal Engine issued the preview of the how to say, not preview, teaser probably, of the new Unreal 5 engine, and this is the picture, and this is the level of the game design we are expecting next year. Well, not next year, they will issue the engine of the next year, so 2-3 years ahead we will have a game design with this level of details, of this level of saturation and decorative saturation. And it is time to learn for CG artists. It is time to learn how to do that, because again, if you have a look at this, it is just extrusion. Every items here is not a sculpting, it's just extrusion. It's just extrusion here with a few, yeah, again extrusion. So it is not sculpting, it's plain. It's plain here, plain here, plain here, or maybe this one a bit sculpting, and a few details here where I came from, I don't know at all. They are not here for structural reason, for any reason, but okay, anyway, it is anyway breakthrough. And so back to question and back to sculpting. This one, so yeah, changes by the way. So this one is old one, and this one is new one. You see, this one is definitely has a gravity, and it move, how to say, strive to get to the central point. And this one, I'm sorry, this one is kind of floating, kind of, I don't know, butterfly maybe. Okay, so always think about such things. Always think about the interaction between the geometry inside of your drawings. It became ornament only when it has the right intersection, the right composition. You see here that even the lines, if you just draw the lines here without the leaves, they are already kind of beautiful. Okay, they already kind of form the design. So that was just now back to questions. So we have here questions, a lot of questions here, and so I've answered probably for the who, where you based. I said St. Petersburg, Facebook. I could give you the link, but you will find me probably. I'm not active there. A few friends, but yeah, why not? We could be friends. I'm happy to. So about draftings, it depends. Sometimes the client very tough, and you should consider the drafting pretty close and be pretty close to it. Sometimes it is not. Almost never the volume always our part. So how will it be in volumes? It is our part. So you do castings for metal? Oh yeah, metal. I never did. I do some sculpting for metal, but not for me, not for myself, or another guy. So list of programs. So those are also easy questions, so you don't need to open any. So I'm using Rhino. So I'm using Rhino for scripting, for sculpting. Oh, where is it? Okay. For scripting, for example, this ceiling design PLC2 is purely made by this script. I've never sculpted anything or design touched anything here, so everything here, yeah. And you see here the edges doubled to subdivision, to make subdivision, and so perspective mode, paste perspective mode. So, and it's made entirely by script. It made entirely by script. If you want more details, I recommend my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my Wednesday stream. It is about that exactly. So it is another my project, Pastir Design. I'm helping. By the way, you use it for whatever reason you want. So for casting metal as well. So back to scripts. So what we have here, and I wanted to show you also that the profiles for the ceiling design I showed before. The profiles, it is the collection of profiles I'm using in this design. So now we have this file export selected. Read. We already have done. So file export selected. Back to ZBrush. So I'm sorry. Okay. Rhino, ZBrush, Photoshop from time to time. I'm using Marmoset toolbar for previewing geometry, fast previewing geometry, because it is maybe not a great to render shadow, probably great. I haven't got here great result, but it is very useful as this fast checking of the geometry. I am using Sketchbook. Definitely I like Sketchbook very much, although the last version, maybe not last, but this version doesn't work correctly with my Wacom. I don't know why. It just, you know, it spoils everything from time to time. But Rhino, ZBrush, Sketchbook, practically that's all. Sketchbook I also use. I'm playing with I'm playing with Blender. Blender I kind of use because of the ability to work with polygons in the Rhino is limited. So I'm using Blender, and I also playing with algorithmic substance designer. I like it because of the instant impact on it does. Have a look again at the previous my stream. You'll see there, not one back from here on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, and so we've got, this is what it is. It is the box to sculpting here. So again, because of in ZBrush defining the sizes is kind of their possibility, probably using this. Oh, I'm sorry. Using this ruler, you kind of could calculate the numbers of those, but it's, I'm sorry, I will not use it in the closest time. If there will be numbers, or at least some, you know, like a proper ruler, some bigger, some smaller. So I've exported it. Okay, file again, just. So let's start. And now I will answer the questions about the ZBrush. So what do I use? I use here the brushes. Which brushes I do use? So the question is, what brushes you use most. So the most popular brushes I'm using is of course clay build up. Clay build up is great brush, but sometimes I use DH clay flow build up. It is a, I don't know who he yeah, there is a vitamin3d.com. He great brushes for exactly for using with the sculptures in the sculptures mode because of replicate uh, because of no geometry for my if we compare it, so here it is a bit noisy, you see the surface, and when you sculpt here it is the same, but it is not as noisy as the previous one. Well points. Okay, so it is not as noisy as in this mode. Slightly more, and I like it. I like it very much. So another brush is my own brush. So this brush, what it does, it is very interesting. So when you have a surface like that, and you try to use standard brush over it. I'm sorry. Standard brush over it. So you got the result like that one. Okay, and it is not exactly how the, for example, this one is okay, but if we carving back, so you could not carve through it. Maybe there's a better way, I do not know, but I'm using brush with just standard brush, but with some modifiers. So in modifiers I do it slightly smooth. Okay, it is slightly smooth. So we carve it through, and you see it's smoothing under it the small issues. It's like a real chisel. You carve by chisel, and you not follow the small flaws of the surfaces. You just follow the major shape. Okay. This is how this work, and I definitely need it because of I'm somehow imitating the carving. So I'm somehow imitating the carving. So I need this brush for this because of the carving. The carving is important for me. So for example, if we so we do, and we see here again, so kind of, and again, so the standard brush doesn't work like that, so it will not give us those edges between before and after. The only bad thing about this is that carving smoothing doesn't interact with the pressure of the pen. If it also did that, it will be just amazing. Also, what changes here, I have told you before about this. So the brush tablet pressure altered. So you see here this. Sorry. The size curve is much harder than the Z intensity curve. Then, yeah, because of it will be more obvious here. It's the same. So this is the spherical brush, standard spherical, and this is altered in the same manner. So you see here. So I'm sorry, it's a ZBrush who switch off the menu. Okay, is the same. So we push it slightly, or we push it harder, but we still have the same size. And for chisel, it is important for me because this kind of imitation of chisel, and what I want is whenever pressure I have to keep the size, and I do it often, very often. So this is the further on. So I do not use it often now. It is a kind of dumb standard. This dumb standard. This one is ORB collection of brushes. I like it because it is not as sharp as the down standard. So down standard is much sharp. No, by the way, maybe because of yeah, in sculptures mode it is almost identical, but usually okay. I'm sorry. Oh, it's fine enough. But some days ago, I have chosen it because it was smoother, and smoother edges uh, easier to flatten. Okay, easier to flatten. Okay, here then it's easier to flatten. Okay, further. Again, so I'm rarely use Mach Mir H cut. It was an old collection of brushes available on probably for free at that time. I don't not remember. Yeah, for free. And what it does, it's you see, it's kind of pinch brush, but with additional alpha in it, and it also has smoothness. I added it, why it's mine. So it's a bit smoothness as well. So to imitate that carving effect. Okay, and it makes the long, smooth curves much easier to do. Okay, then ORB collection again. ORB great collection. I like them. I don't know why I'm using they flatten brush. His flatten brush. Don't know why. Probably just it looked worked better for some tasks because yeah, it could be used. You ask it here. You ask it about flatten brush. Yeah, flattening brush. So yeah, I'm using this brush mostly. Don't know why, but recommend. And also there's a the same brush, but with more smoothness in it. It's smoother, even 10, actually too much. But so what it makes, so because of the originally it probably was made for stone design, so you just move edge and you could do a facet here. Before it's kind of hard to make facet. Yeah, you see. Yeah. So further on, pinch brush, of course. Contour brush is actually I do not use nowadays it is, because what it does, it is kind of the same as plain brush but opposite. So for example, if we do not have here, so we do not have here edge, and we want to have this edge here, it is kind of, so what we have smooth edge. If we start to carve here some edge, it will not give us any result. Okay, but if we use a plain brush with Alt, we do a gravity of this. You see, I will show to you. I will show to you. Okay, so you see, and we have more. Oh my god, a bit too much. But anyway, so and we finally have some edge here. I'm using it, for example, here. Okay, here, for example. So you see the edge getting more sharp. So this contour brush is the same, but without pressing Alt. So it's the same for the same edges. So it just what it does, it take the normal from here, perpendicular to this normal, and up lifting everything under it. Okay, and that's why it became, the edge became more flattened. Okay, further on, well, by the list, we haven't finished it. So inflate, of course, inflate quite useful, very useful in case like here. But because of if we, for example, want to get something like this, okay, it is simpler to do something like this and then inflate this part and inflate this part, then trying to carve this profile. Do you understand? Yeah, I mean, so if you have something like this and then slightly inflate both sides, you will cut this result easier compared to if you try to carve it. That's why inflate very useful brush, necessary brush. So I'm often use the project, of course, because of I'm sculpting on the plane surface, and I'm constantly needed to make some cleaning like that. Spheric. It is extremely useful brush because of sometimes. So what people perceive, so for the make more perception, so that you should add the volume and okay, not enough geometry here, but that doesn't matter. So because of that, this spherical brush, it's somehow simplified the geometry. It not simplify, yeah, simplify, I mean what I mean, so for example, if you have surface like that, spherical brush will do it like that, whereas if you just smooth it, it will be like that. Okay, this is different. So the smoothing, diminishing all the time, diminishing volume, and this brush kind of make it more spherical, more bumpy, more, give it more volume. So that's why I'm using it. Okay, the difference between those, it is this one is the original one. This one, as I said, has other size reaction of the size brush on the pressure of the brush. The move brush, yes, I'm using it not often because of I'm trying to sculpt like that from the big to small. So for example, I'm sculpting this form shape first, and then I'm starting to sculpt those forms, and therefore there's not so necessary to move because I already have at the early stage defined for myself the boundaries of this volume. But I use it, of course. For example, this shape was adjusted slightly. with move brush. Smoothing extremely important because of not always it is necessary to smooth the geometry itself. Okay, sometimes it is more interesting to smooth only peaks. So I'm always using separate smooth peaks and smooth valleys. Almost never I use just general smooth. So just, and it works as well, very well for this situation. Okay, when you slightly spherify the surface, then you just, it will be some small bumps left on it. Okay, and you will just smooth only those bumps, but will not smooth the smooth part, only those small. So it is important. It is important to use. I'm often use or constantly use separate smooth for peaks and smooth for valleys. So this is almost all, because there are few brushes which are not here, but yeah, I'm using them not so often, so maybe not so important. Yeah, back to questions. Oh, infinite depth. Yeah, I used this is RB flatten. Yeah, probably you could be used just flatten. So I use, for example, for this case, so infinite depth, and you kind of sculpt this plane surface. For me, it is important because I do the ornament on the plane. So, and also I do CNC machining of this design. Therefore, for me, it is important to don't have negative volume. Though for CNC machine it doesn't important. For CNC machine it is not so important. But it is important for me to see how will that look, because this empty space will look boring, and there's two ways: or carve it later by hand, or finding the way to shorten it somehow, maybe to so there are tricks in preparation for CNC also, depending on what we want to achieve the final result, or people will finish it by hand. So I'm sorry, game work. Алло? Да. Да, сейчас. Окей. Okay. And I'm sorry, it's just work. I could not predict when it will happen. So I have answered the questions. Can you share the list? Yeah, okay, the list. What the brushes? Yeah. Алло, добрый день. Там подъехал у меня бригадир, хочет полазать по фасаду. Там есть кто-нибудь? Там можно как-то его пусть, ну, по крайней мере, чтобы никто не удивлялся, что какой-то дядька ходит и смотрит. Пусть ходит, смотрит, да, то есть ничего нет. Никто его не... никого нету, да, на объекте сейчас, чтобы... Ну так вообще может хорошо, тогда может как-нибудь познакомить или что, или подойти. Ну, короче, если увидите там человека незнакомого, это Паша, он от меня. Вот. Хорошо. Да, сейчас я пришлю его телефон, да, хорошо. Угу. I'm sorry. We will not stop it. We'll cut it later. So go back here. So this ZBrush answered. Infinite depth on. Okay, I've answered. Flattening out the edges. Yeah, I use the same technique. Yeah, but another brush. Just I do not know why, honestly. Move brush. Yes, I use rare because if I'm trying to define at the stage of sculpting, I'm using it rare. Okay, do you ever zero mesh down the model to clean up geometry? So yeah, I'm using zero mesher sometime to get more smooth result, because smoothing still works on in the ZBrush, or at least it seems so. I have no exact knowledge about this. At least it seems so. It works still on based on the polygons. So if we smooth, for example, here slightly, you'll see some, oh, here not so bad by the way, but sometime when the mesh like that, so the smoothing will give a strange result. So I'm using this very useful script, by the way, also available in the internet. Do not remember for free or not. Nick Tools. Nick Tools, and here is make subdivision level. It's great tool. What it does, it just do repeatedly what you could do. So automate some baking. So Z remeshing, geometry. Yeah, Z remeshing. Then project on the surface back the details, subdivide, project back, subdivide, project back, and you will got a few levels of subdivision and a simplified mesh made with Z remesher. I really like this tool because of this, because of the solid, or I'm sorry, ZBrush still works, it seems so, with smoothing based on the polygons, and if the polygons flow the shape, then the smoothing works better and more accurate, and even sometimes preserves some edges because of the Z meshes do it as well. So very recommend Nick Tools and make subdivision level. I'm very recommended. So that's probably all. No, I'll check it. You know, I'll be careful with this. So that remesh down model. Adaptive size. No, almost never. I did a very huge work not so far, and didn't wanted to divide mesh for details because of I was uncertain about the parts, and I do not want, you know, you could join solid geometry, but you could join still, I don't know why, just meshes. Okay, and if mesh is not solid, so to avoid all those things, I decided, okay, I will sculpt it as it is, the entire mesh. And yes, I controlled the size of the subdivision, but usually don't. And okay, it's saving. So what else? Something I wanted to say something about this sculpture flow. Yeah, I'm using the sculpting only for CNC machining. So I almost don't do renderings. I don't do game design. So it is not necessary for me to have a clean topology. For CNC machine, it is more important to look smooth. That's all. And even the holes for CNC machine isn't important. So if here some little holes, it is not in any way, it will just ignore. I mean, in the negative surfaces somewhere, of course. And so back here, so what we have here. Okay, and what I want is maybe even sculpting today isn't. What time is it? 1 hour. Okay, let's try anyway. So let's try. I hope I've answered a lot of questions, all the questions, and I really think that it is more important to know what you want to sculpt than to know how to sculpt. Yeah, you will, but you will anyway find the way to. You know, when I started the first time sculpting in ZBrush, it was awful, just awful. But with time, it's coming the understanding that so you could do that thing, those things. So there are approaches to this or to that. So and still there are a lot of things I do not like about ZBrush. For example, I'm dreaming about non-uniform smoothing. Just maybe somebody could do it for example, if we have a surface like this and we draw a few lines and show that we want smooth it in this direction 3 times and in this direction only 1 time. That will be just amazing. Just on the surface you draw those lines, press and just smoothing, because often when I'm sculpting here for example, okay, when I start to smooth, I want to smooth actually this line and not this cross-section profile, but it is just not impossible, although there is a direction smoothing brush. I'm still using it rare, I don't know why. So back to here. Do not know is it necessary now to go back too much already have said. I could just show to you that actually every thing which repeated 3 times became an ornament. If we repeat it again, okay, you see it is an ornament now. So almost everything just repeated many times will become an ornament. It's kind of mystery. Maybe it's how the groove in music works. But what is important here? So if you want, as I said again, yeah, as I said again, what is in the ornament? Everything should be interconnected. Okay, and if you have a look at this part, okay, it's a sphere. It's kind of sphere. It's kind of sphere with a hole. With so this is sphere and we've cut it element. Okay, and by making this, I'm showing the direction, and you see here the direction are somehow flow. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'm watching the direction, the flow of the direction of those elements. Okay, And also there is a rule of 8, you know, 8, okay, and the rule of 8 saying us that everything should be somehow flow, okay, and 1 8, another 8, another 8, so, and another 1, and so kind of interwoven, so kind of, so the ornament here, although it looks messy, actually it's not messy, so the direction of those elements are controlled, those elements also controlled, empty space, not empty space, no accents should be on its place. Not sure I will sculpt today. Okay, let's try anyway. What's going on the chat? Is there any chats? By the way. Drafts. Yeah, I'm sorry. Drafts. Yeah, negative. I told about it. Yeah, negative drafts. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a term. Yeah, it just was term. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to start sculpting this, so just choose some transform. So solid, not solid. So if we want to, so I started to from, you know, the rule of 8 I told you before, okay, and because of that rule I got here a few already. So I'm still keeping the general volume as it is, okay. Probably this is not a good idea. So maybe better to, it doesn't work since symmetry probably. So okay, and it started to be understandable where the volumes come from, okay, and yeah, just by doing this I already have a understanding, so that here something should be smaller, here is a gap between the main roses, okay, and here will be a rose, so some here pointing that direction, here we will create the main volume somehow, okay, and it will come here, and this one will in opposite direction, this one that direction, I'm sorry, this one in that direction. So let's try to keep this readable, okay, that direction, and if this one will point in that direction, this one should point in that direction, okay, so this is the main volumes ours. This one therefore in opposite to this one, and here some smaller details, I don't know at the moment which, but some kind of, okay, here the say is okay. You see here 1 1 2, okay, it's repetition should be avoided, the exact repetition, so somehow let's up it, let's make here something what we're pointing up, okay, so the direction, that one, that size, that one, so the direction, okay, so, and that's why I don't use move brush, you know, because of for me it is much important to keep the general volume and understanding what's going on here, okay, so now covered slightly, so to make it more separate. Okay, and we have here the rule of 8. The rule of 8 still working. Okay, and we put it here, kind of the decoration. So we want some kind of, so if this one there, then this one there. So you see, somehow it's already remind us an wreath. I hope I call it right, because this is the most difficult words for non-English speaker. Everything related to no, there's W word, but it doesn't sound, so it's just right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, by the way, when I was speaking about the brushes, I haven't told that I'm also often, very often using, in this case, for example, I'm using the brush in the perpendicular screen mode, because of, there's so much mess here, and I just want to up something or down something. So for you see, the blue circle doesn't flow the surface. Okay, and that's because of that. So I'm using this as the. So at this stage, what I'm looking, what I have. First of all, it is important to remember that the worst thing you could ever do is to make something ugly beautiful. Your picture should be beautiful at every stage. It is not like this. Could not be said about this particular attempt to draw a wreath, but it is always should be considered in mind that the worst thing to do is trying to make some ugly beautiful. So at every stage, your work should be keeping some proportions, some ideas which make them beautiful, make them kind of structurized, etc. So for example, here again, so I just want to study it. So we have here this direction, this direction, this direction. Here probably okay, better to up a bit to not entirely repeat this one here. Yeah, kind of, so here we finish this one. Maybe we give space better. Okay, here this one is there, and the last one will be here. It will be some way here. It will be almost the same. Maybe better to put it slightly if you want to repeat. So it will be some way here. So maybe better to even opposite isn't bad idea, but it is then. So, and the rule of 8, as I said, okay. And we have in this interaction, and here probably again. So this one will be some way here, and the repetition will be working. Okay, so do you like it? No, but I mean the structure, of course, the structure. So is there a structure? Probably yes. So and here again. Okay, so we will put it here. It will be somewhere. Okay, so yeah, I'm general. So in general, I like it. Okay, probably there is a saving going on. Okay. Yeah. So let's have a look how it is in general volume. One here, one there. So now just define it. That's all. So here as well, what we need is the boundaries of the molding. Better to do it symmetry. Oh, it doesn't work in symmetry mode. Okay, we could just geometry. Well, okay, so yeah. So the boundary of the molding are important for us. Why it is? Okay, how deep I don't know. Whatever deepness, depth is, so it will be. I could show to you, and I will understand myself better. So G. So it will be between those profiles. Okay, it will be tightly pressed by the profiles from the left and right. Okay, and I need somehow even maybe then make here another, just to see what will happen. Hey, what's going on? Okay. Just slightly to see the circumstances better. Yeah, maybe not as much as I did here. Wait, no, that's kind of close to. So therefore we could make it even more accentuated. So here we go. It's time to simplify the geometry. Okay, and you see, I always remember the intention why I'm doing here. So what is the direction I want to emphasize, and somehow that's again about the relief. So the rules of relief. Relief, for example, if we have sphere, okay, in relief it will be something like that, with steep, not steep, yeah, with steep here, you know, and the play almost playing here, and the sphere cutted again will be, so it will not be sphere. Okay, and here you see I'm controlling it somehow, trying to at least. Okay, much. Yeah, in the so still have in mind. So here will be an item here. So and by the way, this time I do it only for demonstration purposes. So it will not be sculpted, it will not be rendered in closed view. So I'm not interested in creating a perfect, absolutely perfect picture. But anyway, yeah, the angle. So this is also the way to show the direction of this flower, as we remember. Oh, I lost it probably. How we wanted it. We wanted it to show there, like slightly there. Okay, so although it looks like a mess, it is actually quite structured, because I'm constantly keeping in mind that it should show in that direction, and this one should emphasize the direction. Okay, and because of, and here, so we probably may have a leaf. I don't know, do I want leaves here or not? So this one, as I remember, probably this one is again slightly down it, slightly spherified. Oh, by the way, the brush the clay flow build up has its own settings in sculptures. So it is not what I'm interested in right now. So you see, so that I'm keeping in mind the plane of this flower, and I'm trying to put this plane in the direction I've showed you before. Okay, and this flower, that flower, so give it a bit more exacerbated view here. Okay, and by the way, symmetry is also, I mean not symmetry, but you could have a look at your detail in the mirrored version. It's useful. It's very useful. So let's have a look here. Exacerbating this is not what I want, but go deeper probably is a great idea. So could we have a look here? So we could go deeper because of deeper here and deeper there. Okay, yeah, and this one is pointing where we have decided that way. Okay, or upside down is also useful for this purpose. So slightly the direction slightly of this controlling this. Okay, now rule of 8 in a smaller scale. Okay, so again those are interrupting, and So probably you saw the lessons how to sculpt roses leaf by leaf, compile them together, one leaf, then another leaf of the rose. Is it also leaf? Maybe not. So for what the rose's flower is made. Okay, but actually it will be extremely hard to control the general composition. So yeah, somehow I should sculpt now, trying to imitate the interaction of one leaf and another, which one up, which one down, but that's not as hard as you think it is. So the leaves. And so for me, right now, it is more important how will that looks in this view, remote view. So probably the visualization I'm going to do for interior designer, we wouldn't show it closer. So, and that's the quality of the leaf, the flower below is quite enough for me actually, but I do not like this empty space. This is just nothing here. Let's try to figure out what we could put here. The flowers. So yeah, there are small flowers, and it is important to remember the types of flowers which exist in classical vocabulary, because of not everything, although yeah, it could be everything. So of course I could show to you here Alexei Kuzmin, our sculptor. He used here, as you see, everything. So corn, what's that? Cabbage. Okay, and not so pretty average. So here beans, pretty normal. Even this core root here, it's how it's called. I'm sorry, do not know. So could be everything, but for certain styles, if you want to keep style, it is important to keep the vocabulary usually used for that and for that designs. Okay, so and also if we have a look at here, what I've said, we are going to repeat. By the way, it is also the Alexei Kuzmin, our sculptor. Not this one is not. Somewhere I've seen today the picture of I don't remember. So okay, sometime there is a flute for the leaves, so probably I will do it in profile, this place, and therefore so depth here will not be straight vertical and deep, and also let's give a contrast to it. So let's give it a contrast. So also here should be something. This one is deeper. This one is deeper as well. But here we will not have this straight wall later. So it is it will be reading in other way. Here the small one, and here the flower like that, pointing into that direction. So let's consider the result. So let's consider the view we've got. So you see here, I am keeping the original 8 here. So the first few strokes defined everything what will be designed later. Okay, and so what I want to see here, the direction of this one, direction of this one, direction of this one, and this one repeat. Do not like repetition. Maybe not like this one should be probably up. This one, so it's kind of mess. Anyway, needed because of it is a wreath and not a just plain geometry, and not a plain geometry. Okay. So in general, I'm still liking it. So here, the rule of 8. So this one is follow. Yeah, I like it. So make it more spherical, and the direction of it should be almost up, as we have figured out using sketches, drafts. Yeah, by the way, speaking about drafts, I just have forgotten that it is a term. Yeah, so there are tools in ZBrush. Okay, and we could see the negative volume if it is necessary for you for molding purposes or whatever, but for me at the moment it is not so, it isn't important. So this one, by the way, I have drawn there another leaf, maybe. So div again, perpendicular to plane will help to div deep, because of if you don't, and that's by the way what I've been talking about here, it is simpler to make cover and then add some volume than trying to okay. So this is kind of rolls but not open up entirely, so dig deeper here, dig deeper here. So I do not like well, by the way, I'm using move brush finally to give it a more view of it is important that move brush also has a, when you press Alt, probably Alt, because I'm using button, yeah, Alt button on the vacuum. So when you press Alt, it is just do it perpendicular, press it perpendicular to the screen, okay? And so here we could give it more contrast here. So for big brush, just to give it some more saturated shadow, so to give it more understandable direction, because of plus to the general direction, to each one has direction, but also each one, I'm sorry, each one has its own direction, but they also has a general direction. So for example, here the plane of they together directed here, but for example this one will here and this one will here. Okay, and so I'm working now on the contrast, so I'm trying to get the contrast and to find out what may be the causing of. So, and the general movement of the hand of the brush is around those aids, imaginable aids, which are defining our, not our mind, yours. They're defining the. By the way, using our here, is it annoying for you or it is okay? So why I'm not in sculptures mode? Wait. Not hidden, but sculptures mode isn't available. Funny enough. So enable, but use global. I'm sorry, just used wrong settings. Okay. So as I told before, even when you draw the flowers, you should think more about the angles, the places where the volume changes direction than about. That's what I told you before. So I'm just carving to make it, just carving some to make it. So instead of trying to get an engraved, no, I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to. So yeah. So I am defining. So I told you before. So I told it before. So the smooth line isn't what the people understand. What the people understand is and they more easily read those changes in directions than they read just smooth line. Okay, and because of that what I'm doing here, I'm defining the planes which change. Okay, and more thinking about the angles and the flow. And the angles which will demonstrate us the will demonstrate us the direction of this the movement of this. I don't know. Probably I should just check this out. Translator. Petal. Okay. Is it how it's called? Petal? 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 Okay, maybe. Oh. Okay, I've forgotten which brush I'm using. Have it happened to you ever? Forget which brush in your hand. It's easy, by the way, with virtual brushes. Okay. Give it a bit more saturated shadow and okay, so kind of pretty close to what I want to get. It wouldn't be awfully beautiful, you know. I'm sculpting too fast and I didn't know what to sculpt from the scratch, so there's no reference, there's no thinking about this. So I will definitely resculpt it later. So do not expect this to be absolutely, and but the general direction, the general design, those I could show to you probably, or maybe not, maybe yes, maybe I could. So here you see I have against of me, I said I do not use reference, but somehow I do. They're small, pretty, and they're quite, I don't know, have you seen it or not? Do you see me now? Oops, I'll have to check it. You see me, okay. And that's what I want trying to replicate here. So that's what I'm trying to replicate here. So kind of small. They're here just to yeah, just to take a place to give us the direction, and somewhere there inside should be also, but the elements on which I'm sorry, I should learn the anatomy, the words of the anatomy of the flowers before start this. Actually, I didn't want to start such a difficult design. I thought it will be too much and I could spoil everything, but then decided I needed to provide it, the picture, to the interior designer, so therefore it is important for me to finish it, and they will know all the time to do that. So why not do it right now? So now I'm just looking for the accents and the contrast. How does it work from the way far away, from the view far away, afar, from the looking afar. Okay, is it the right word? I'm speaking now to my English teacher. I hope she watching, maybe not now, but at least sometime. Okay. Okay, so what we have here, the main two flowers and smaller here. The contrast quite okay. The composition is here. Okay. Oh. Sometimes it could be exacerbated if you do not move. Would be exacerbated. So, and it is kind of course necessary, just necessary to watch from different angles and see how will this work in this view or in that view. So is it rows or not? This one I've decided is closed rows. Okay. And this one then, okay, let's be it also rows. Okay. That should be also a rows. Now, and you see I'm still keeping the angles, keeping the pointing the direction, pointing the direction of a surface or of it is also important to remember that the real carver use sometimes big instrument. It is almost impossible to use with ZBrush. What I mean, the ZBrush uses the normals to define the direction you will of your brush. Okay, and because of that, you could not just take and carve a few leaves in the same time, because the normals will be defined from point, which point I do not know, and nobody could predict. So there is somewhere here. So the generalization of form kind of difficult in ZBrush, but in real life, the sculptor, for example, if he sculpts a line like this, he will use chisel to cut this one, cut that one, just and we could imitate it with plane with planaris tool. Okay, kind of show how the chisel cut this edge. Oh, too much. Chisel cut this way edge, that way edge. I'm sorry. This plane. How this plane works. This plane. Okay. And by the way, with contrast here. Yeah. So I'm using now the brush I told you, my own Spherify. So it is again, it is very well exactly for that. You see this? I need it a bit bumpy, this surface, okay, and I do it just, and because of I'm barely touching the surface, but I still have the same size, and it is important. It is important to use brush not only in default settings, but in the settings you will like you will in the settings you okay, just adjust as much setting as you could, and don't forget to check the result always. So this part, so we could, so I'm defining now here the edges. So what we have, I'm trying to figure out the shape of this. It doesn't have shape right now, and okay, wait a moment. Too long. Sometimes it takes time. Okay. And you see, although we love smooth, but actually when it became less smooth, it became more eloquent, maybe more eloquent, speaking to you what is the direction of this leaf, where it is, it's changed its flow. And by the way, attempt to make rows from the, for example, some prepared shape before will not work anyway, just because of when you sculpt in ZBrush you will anyway deform the initial shape, and it will be after a few movements of brush not of the same shape you have taken in your hand. In real life, yeah, you cut from cardboard some leaf and bend it as you wish, and it still has its original form, but not in ZBrush. So in ZBrush it is not so. Every time you bend it, every time you move parts of it, you will also deform it. So that will not be helpful for you anyway. Starting sculpting rows from prepared leaves will not help you to keep the shape of this and achieve the right shape, a proper shape. So it will not help you anyway. So let's learn how to sculpt it, then try to imitate the real life approach. And by the way, even in real life, I'm rarely sculpting like that. So it is more used by the who make those who make pastries, okay, cakes, etc. So they do. Okay, not enough vocabulary. This part I never speak about culinary usually. But it's more approach from there than from real sculpting. So then from the real sculpting. So from that distance it looks from my point of view quite decent. Maybe not as great as the real old sculpting, but as I didn't promise to you, I will surprise you by the quality of work. And I actually doesn't need it at the moment, so I need only just something what will look decent in the same circumstances like here. So I will render the entire ceiling and just add the flowers, those flowers. Okay, so it should be fast. It should be fast. So I mean the sculpting, and again the interior designer may say, "Oh no, I want not roses, for example." You know, it's happened sometimes. I do not like roses. We had another interior designer. By the way, the same interior designer. So she do not love. Is the same? No, it's another one. I'm sorry. So the one of interior designer we're working with this ceiling for her right now. She do not love the wreath, and because of that, she even removed from the chandelier all the wreath. Actually, it's make it more ugly than more beautiful, but some preferences of her predilection, I don't know. She love it. She do not love it. So she love to do not love it. She don't love. She love don't love. She eat. So, do you like it or not? I'll be happy to stop. Not only because of it is ready, and not because of it is ready, but because of sometime the works should be rethought, rethinking, reconsidered. You should. I actually do not love to make a work at one, even the simplest one, in the smallest one, at one time. Just better to come back once or twice, maybe after a day or something like this. You know, the programists, I also do some scripting. The programists often say that they do not remember their own code without, so it is necessary to make comments in the code because they just do not remember what they have designed and code. And the same with you. After a week, not week too much, even after a few days, you will look at your work from a different angle. You will see it as something new for you. Some obvious things could be seen. So, for example, I'm sculpting now the fireplace. You have seen the fireplace I showed you. So I'm doing the restoration of it because the plasticine model is already 12 years old here, and some details were lost. The guys who keep it, the company who do the carving, they changed the place. So it is in awful condition with time. So, and again, I'm keeping, although the time is already tough, I do not touch it for maybe 2 days, just in the hope that it will give me the time, will give me a break, and I will understand better. So again, I am covering a bit wider and a bit deeper than actually needed, and then fill the form with fill the gap with the shape I like. It is simpler in ZBrush than trying to achieve the same with carving, with trying to, I don't know, maybe with down standard or any other brush available. So I'm not proud of this at the moment, but I want to stop. If anybody stop me. You probably know this mood when you think, okay, one last, I will add here something, and then I will stop. No, I will stop. No, I do not this the general shape of this. It is a bit okay. So here. Yeah, the last one. Let's think that it is the last one. So here we put the depth, the contrast here. This one probably we do not need because there will be this one. Oh yeah, I'll check this later. If I'll do it online as well, it will be too much. So what the direction we wanted for that one? And probably at least slightly check will be not bad. Okay. With the ZBrush, okay, 6. It is always hard to keep. So 100 and then 100 again, 200. Okay. We use here 200, so therefore 100 for this one, 100 for again for that one, and we will see our gap and how does it work right now. By the way, we could merge it because of geometry. So I'm not concerned about anything what I have done here, so therefore I could go back, merge down, cancel, yes, merge down, okay, and just merge it So auto group and just do it more interacted. Okay, and we'll just it's still masked. I hide the mask. Okay, here we could add volume, repeat. So here will be another one leaf. So here, yeah, I thought that will be either too big. So this one will be. So let's merge it together. Dynamesh Master. I use Dynamesh Master. I love Dynamesh Master. Okay. So now we have this. So that works here. So probably this flower just shouldn't be moved from here, because here when I sculpted from a very tough position, but actually there's a lot of place, so why not to move it slightly. Here and oh my, I'm doing it wrong. So why not to move it slightly and it's getting slower. Decimation Master. What to choose? It will work fast enough. Probably with this. With this. There will be a crosses later, but not now, and I do not know where. So put it here. So this one we have here. So this one we dive deeper here, and so the rule of 8 again. So somewhere here could be a small part, and here we want this flower to be so pointed into direction. It's getting repetition here. That's bad. So let's not point it up. Let's point it somewhere here, and this one even down. At least one should point it down here. This one straight up. What it is, we do not know. No. Now. So the final check. Let's put some here. So not pointing pointing more aside, and here we could shoulder. Okay, as you see, it's pretty decent. It will look on the renderings like this one quite well, with occlusion, exacerbated occlusion, with somebody stop me. So definitely I could. Somebody stop me. So yeah, that's enough. That's enough. So that's what we've got for an hour of sculpting. Isn't bad for the visualization, like in this scale. It isn't bad even in perspective view. We have general volumes, maybe. Okay, so yeah, I'm keeping it far. If you're watching from a phone or tablet, probably too far for you, but yeah, it is. How will I bring it back? Because I know that I have shifted for 100, so therefore I will just cut somewhere here the line and divide it around 100 from the top. Move it from the central line between them, so not a central line. Maybe I even leave it as it is. I'm lost. So that's great. Great. I hope it is okay. I hope you like it. I hope you like at least the explanation and the basic ideas put it in it. So even if you don't like, as I said before, yeah, at the start of this video, it is not important am I a good sculptor or I'm a bad sculptor. It is important, do I have a knowledge you don't have? And that's what I wanted to talking about with you, about the classic, about the rules of classic, about the rules put it into the composition in classic, into the profile, molding profiles. So here, for example, we have all those profiles are used to the ceiling, not this one, but for this ceiling. Okay, for this ceiling. I could open up. Yeah, not for this one. Sorry, this one or not, or don't. No, it was for another one. So it needs to open up it as well. Probably this one. Probably this one. No, it's Libre. It's just put it there. No, no. Okay, it doesn't have it open. I do. It is. So some of this. Oh, there's a lot of version. I still haven't finished it. So, but it will be not this one again. Okay. Probably that one. So yeah, this one, but it is bad version. But anyway, so here in the middle, it will be here in the middle, this, and we will sky discuss the quality of yeah, I will put it here to check out. So here also will be some elements on the crosses to hide the seams, because of it's actually hard to predict which part will come to the angle. So yeah, that's what we've got here. Quite great result. Okay, maybe check it in another material. Here, another material. So thank you very much for watching. I hope it was interesting time for you. For me, it was anyway interesting. Because of when when you sculpt, you do not structuralize your knowledge, but when you find during the explanation, finding that you could not explain something, or you are not certain at something, it is quite helpful to structuralize your knowledge. Okay, shift R again. Yeah, I like it. I genuinely like it. So save it. By the way, we haven't saved it. It's good. Okay, so see you. Bye bye. Ask questions. I do not offer an enrolling course because there is no course at the moment. Maybe we will figure out the way how it will be possible, but before we start course. But okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye. By the way, press the like button. This is important for me. Yeah, so see you. Bye.